All right, let's do this.
Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. to cuddle with me. You know how I like it when you loving on me. I don't wanna die for them to miss me. Yes, I see the things that they wishing on me. Hope I got some brothers that outlive me.
What up, ladies and gentlemen?
God's plan. God's plan. I hope that sometimes I won't. I feel good, sometimes I don't. I finesse down with
Can you check the YouTube, please?
Might go down to G.O.D.
It's on my Instagram stories at belmar.
I make sure that
what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the revolution. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Belmar. I'm excited and delighted. The revolution has begun. Years in the making. Years of grind. Years of hustle. We are here. I got some eye drops running. All right, motherfuckers. You guys know me. Turn the 02 into the 03. Good sound? Without 40, I'll leave Debbie. Turn it down a little bit. All right, sounds good. Let's run this shit. Imagine if I never met the broskies. See you, brother. Appreciate you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Music is too loud. There's no such thing as loud music. Only weak ears. Check. 1, 2, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody said fool's baked. I've been sober for 3 months. I'm unstoppable. I'm untouchable. No weed can hold me down. No substance. Fuck it. Let's turn it up. Let's vibe for a little bit, guys. Let's vibe for a little bit. It's Thursday. Let's run this shit. Let's run some we're gonna get started in 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We got 300 people in the lobby. We're just warming up. I want you guys to understand this. The revolution has begun. Over the last 2 years, we decided to do these things on YouTube. Somebody said it's, my boy is telling me super loud. It ain't super loud. It's not super loud. It's not super loud. Turn that music up, bitch. Let's go. We're gonna stream. We're gonna get started in about 2 to 5 minutes, guys. Wait for a few more people to get in the lobby. Pen and paper. Pen and paper, come on. Or your notes in hand. The takeover is imminent. Capital Club, the largest decentralized entrepreneurial network on planet Earth, is being formed today. It's been forming for the last 2 years. People are asking me what eye drops I use. It's a little company called Lumen. No sponsorship. You can find it at CVS. I'm not turning down shit. I ain't turning down shit. You guys gotta learn how to dance. Come on. Only broke people. Voice cracking. Is this better? Is this better for you bitches? Is this better? Is this better? Come on, guys. Everybody's out here all serious and shit. Come on. You're only serious and you're depressed if you're a broke bitch. Not us. Today we're going to be covering the markets. We're going to be covering a couple things that I want to share with you about what the current events of the world are. We're going to be covering some topics, some lives, and yeah, we're going to have a great time. So listen up. I want you to listen up, okay? Over the next year or two, we are on a mission to form the largest decentralized entrepreneurial network on planet Earth. You either join us or you don't, that's up to you, but the revolution is imminent. The revolution, the takeover has begun. We started this from Instagram Lives. No promos, no content, word of mouth. Why? because we do that shit. We made tens of millions of dollars in the e-commerce space, tens of millions of dollars in crypto. We taught people how to make money, how to multiply money, and how to keep it. But more importantly, we taught people how to get liberated from the matrix. A lot of you motherfuckers have a lot of work to do. You're come-ups, but I'm here to save you. A lot of you guys are in your continuation. I'm going to help you get to completion, to the place where you're untouchable, unfuckable, a place where you dictate the outcome of your life, where you are unstoppable, where you're strong. But first, you have to be trained, you have to be equipped. A lot of you guys want to go into battle, but you are not ready for battle. What you need to understand is that this game is ruthless, ruthless beyond your imagination. And when you understand this principle, you're going to get ready. You can't fight with no weapons. You can't defend with no armor. But more importantly, you don't have an army behind you. You're a one-man army. You're weak. All right. My editor is saying music down a little bit. This game is the real game. It's the game of life. It's the real game. It's the game of life. Most of you guys have not mastered the game of life. 8 years ago, I came to this country. 8 years ago, I came to this country with $200 in a suitcase. $200 in a suitcase, all right, to this country. I worked, washed dishes, cleaned toilets, did everything that I needed to do. Slept in my car, was homeless, bounced from place to place, 4 hours of public transport just to get to work. Then on my way back, I would go and intern at some news outlet. That's why I know this whole news shit is fake. That's why we're starting this, right? We need a revolution. We need something that is real. A lot of people talk all this politic garbage. A lot of people are all here talking all this conspiracy. That ain't going to make you rich. That's not going to stabilize your family. That's not going to pay the bills. So it's about balance and harmony. Capital Club is going to provide that. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. Let's get started. If you guys have any questions, we can put them in the comments. You guys can put them in the comments. I'm still familiar. I'm getting used to this YouTube shit. The problem was Instagram was kind of fucking up my reach. So we've decided to push through into another platform. So right now we got 400 people. We usually get about 1,000 on Instagram, but that's just a part of the transition. I'm actually going to go live on IG right now. Make sure that we're pushing people over, and we're going to get started. So guys, first of all, in the comment section, where are you guys from? Where are you guys joining us from? I want a little background here. This is how woke we are, boys. We got to be covering this shit. Look at that. All right, there we go. We got to be covering this shit. It's extremely important. Ladies and gentlemen, live on YouTube. We're going live on YouTube. Link in bio. No, not link in bio. All right, we got people from France, Denmark, Miami, Austria, Maryland, the Caribbean, Orlando, Australia, Germany. Fuck Australia. Australia is one of the most communist, World Economic Forum, concentration camp, dystopian countries that I've seen. It's absolutely disgusting. And we're going to watch some videos about it today. I want to pull some videos up about shout out to Italy. The Prime Minister of Italy just resigned and the parliament was dissolved. All of this is propagated and controlled. Shout out Albania. We got Morocco. We got Poland in the house. We got España. We got Corsica. We got French island in the Mediterranean. All right, we got India. We got everybody representing worldwide. As I told you guys once, I told you guys before, Capital Club is a global decentralized entrepreneurial network focused on multiplying, creating, and preserving wealth. A lot of you guys over the last 2 years, if you did not get rich over the last 2 years, you fucked up. You need to be asking yourself, what did I do that caused me to stay poor over the last 2 years? What did I do? A lot of you guys, okay, stayed poor because you didn't have access to the right network, because you didn't have access to the right people, because you didn't have access to the right information. By the way, guys, we're going live on YouTube. It's link is on my stories. I'm hanging up my phone now. Peace. A lot of you guys fucked up heavy. And that's the truth. That's just the nature of the situation. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't look at the past. You can only look at the future. And what does the future look like? It looks either bright or very grim. The choice is yours. And that's what I learned about life. It's all about choices. And Newton's third law teaches this. And it's the law that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, that for every input, there's an output in equal proportion. And when you understand this, you understand that the elites of the world do not want you to know that you are in control. You're in control of your life. You're in control of your decisions. You're in control of your actions. And when you truly understand this, it's empowering. If not, you're going to cower up in a corner like a bitch because you feel powerless because, oh, the news tells you something, or, oh, there's a war halfway across the world. And how do you know it's real? Why? Because you saw some videos, just like we saw what? The fighter jet, what is it called? The Ghost of Kiev, the fighter jet that ended up being bullshit, right? That ended up being fake. Newton's third law explains to us a very simple principle that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. What does that mean? That for everything you sow, you will reap an equal proportion. Now, what is it that we're supposed to be sowing? A lot of people don't understand that the battle that we're fighting here is not a battle of a physical battle. It's not a battle between men. It's a battle of the mind. They are after your mind. If they can control your mind, they can control you. Descartes, the famous philosopher, once said, "I think, therefore I am," which tells us that we need to rewire our operating system if we want to become something else. A lot of people want to win in life, but they're using the same information that put them in the shithole in the first place. So the same mindset that you had that put you in the problems in the first place, you're trying to solve those problems with the same mindset that gave you the problems in the first place. Do you see the paradox? So today I'm going to talk to you about the mind. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I became rich and how you can do the same. Now, I want to make something extremely clear, and hear me out. You have the life that you have because that's the life that you chose. You can, and I'll tell you this, it's easy to blame other people. It's easy to blame the president. It's easy to blame your parents. It's easy to blame the system. But guess what, bitch? I made it out. And so can you. Why? Because I not only took action, but I assumed responsibility. And when you understand that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, you get to understand, and you have the privilege to understand, which most people will never have this conversation. Most people will never look at themselves in the mirror and say, you know what? I chose this life, whether I believe it or not. Look at yourself in the mirror. The way that you look, do you look like a fat slob? The relationships that you have, are you proud of them? The friends that you hang out with, are you proud of them? When you open up your checking account, are you proud of it? When you look at your portfolio in crypto, are you happy with it? Well, guess what? That's what you chose. Well, I come from a third world country and I didn't have the research. Fuck that shit, bro. We live in the internet era. There's no such thing as borders. I know motherfuckers in Nigeria, not the scammers. I know motherfuckers in Nigeria making 30, 40 grand a month. I know people in the Philippines making $40,000, $50,000 a month. Oh yeah, but they got lucky. They know something that I don't. No kidding, bitch. Of course they know something that you don't know. It's obvious. The question is, what do they know that you don't know, and how do you get access to that information? Capital Club will give you access to that information. I want to make one principle extremely clear. Everyone is self-made, but only the rich will admit it. Let me say it again. Everyone is self-made, but only the rich will admit it. The poor will blame other people. Why? Because when you're poor of the mind, you will inevitably be poor of the pocket. So if you want to be rich in the pocket and rich and wealthy in life, you must understand that it starts right here. And that's what I realized. That's the principle that changes everything. And what is the first thing that they want to attack you with? Everything has to do with the mind. The moment you're 6 years old, they tell you to pledge allegiance to a flag that you've never heard of, that symbols that you don't understand, that you don't know what they mean. They tell you to pledge allegiance and they tell you to follow the American dream. Well, let me tell you something about the American dream. In order for you to be dreaming, you must be asleep. In order to be dreaming, you must be asleep. And I know a lot of you guys, these concepts are new, and trust me, I've been through this journey. I've been through this journey for the last 3 or 4 years. But if in the last 2 years, you've not gotten absolutely disgusted with the system, that the system has been designed to destroy you, designed to beat you into submission, to keep you a slave, then I don't know how to help you, because the evidence is out there. And when we say the system, dude, the system was created by people just like you and me that are more intelligent than you and me, that realized if they don't like something, they're just going to go out and change it. So that's why we're here, because I don't like this shit. So guess what? I'm going to change it. Over the last 2 years, we've tried to devise a plan on how to become uncensorable. This is the reason why I haven't explored, going public in a lot of these avenues, because I was vulnerable. I didn't have a network. I didn't have the connections, the resources, the power that I have today. Today, I can make 2 phone calls and I pretty much can do whatever the fuck I want. But 2 years ago, I couldn't do that. So I needed to focus on myself. I need to focus on leveling up. I need to focus on becoming better. And as I become Neo of the Matrix, because that is my role, my goal now is to pull people that are in 3 phases of life. The first phase is the come up phase. It's the people that work jobs, they have their 9 to 5, but they understand, they fundamentally know that something is wrong. That when they go to the check register and they see that there's a 10% tax on the food that they eat, they ask themselves, what the fuck is going on? When they see 9.1% inflation, when they see $31 trillion in debt, they're like, what the fuck is wrong? Something is not right here. And those people are in the come up stage. I remember being in the come up stage when I was 15, 16, 17. There's not many like you. But if you're here, you're a glitch. You've been called for something. But not all those that are called are chosen. You must choose that you must be willing to go against the average norm until we change the average norm. And that you have to be willing to sacrifice the life that you have for the life that you want. And most people want things in life, but they're not willing to sacrifice in order to get that. I was willing to sacrifice my relationships, my life, my family, for the pursuit of truth, for the pursuit of freedom. I had to struggle. I had to fight. Guys, I come from nothing. Don't let these sexy blue eyes fool you. All right. Don't let this beautiful white flawless skin fail you, that somehow I was born into some sort of privilege. Do you think privilege exists at a multi-billion-dollar level? Do you think these billionaires look at each other and they're like, oh, this guy's black, he must have had it hard, or oh, this guy's Asian. Oh, he probably gets hit with these these hate crimes from Asia. Bro, these guys are in global domination mode. They don't give a fuck about your skin color. They don't care about these things. You are a number to them. And you know what their goal is? To keep you busted, disgusted, and distracted. Because when you're busted, disgusted, and distracted, you're not a threat. You're not a liability. They can do whatever the fuck they want. And you've seen it. Guys, we are $31 trillion in debt, and you're not pissed about it because you're a bitch and you don't know what to do. So I'm going to teach you what to do. And we're going to win. Now, I want to make something extremely clear. All the videos of all these woke people that you see on the internet, I'm in communication with all these motherfuckers. Every single one of them, from the top to the bottom. Why? Because I am the big boss. And I can get a hold of anybody in the world that I want. And we're forming something that we understand will be revolutionary, because a lot of you guys don't have the resources, you guys don't have the money, you don't have the connections, but all those things will come in time, in due time, through Capital Club. They will come in due time. But you need to understand that today you are a student, okay? Today you are a student. Today you are a disciple of discipline. Today you're a disciple of the way. Today you're a student because you need to get rid of so much garbage, so much shit that's packed in here, so much, it's just garbage, just piled in your brain. And it's not just extracting, but then it's reinserting. The mind is moldable beyond belief. Everything around you molds you. I ask people, how many books do you read a year? Oh, well, I've read one book in the last 10 years. I get my I get my information off of TikTok and off of YouTube. And do you understand these are algorithms that are feeding you information? These algorithms are feeding you things that they want you to see in order to keep you on the platform. That's not education. That is another form of indoctrination. Why? Because you do not have control as to what you insert into your mind. What is the first thing that is attacked? Your mind. That's why if a parent doesn't put their child into school, or at least some sort of educational system that is approved by the government, well, you lose custody of your children. Does that make any fucking sense to you? And now they're trying to pass the idea of banning homeschool. They're trying to pass the banning of homeschool. And just look at the curriculum. Look at the sex ed curriculum of California. They talk about fisting. They talk about feces and bathing in blood. And bro, this is what kids are fed at the age of 8. Let's pull this shit up. Let me find this shit, bro. Let's pull up Anthony, send me some shit on or Steve or somebody, send me some stuff on Discord. We're gonna open up the Discord and we're gonna kind of run this shit up. Let's look up the California sex ed curriculum. I'm about to wake you guys the fuck up. And guess what? When you're awake, you'll realize something. You'll realize that money is a lot easier than you think. You'll realize that what you've been told about money is fake. And we're going to watch a couple videos that will give you the idea of it. So let's do this. I'm gonna screen share this shit. Screen share. I'm still getting used to this whole platform thing, guys, but bear with me because it's going to be a valuable resource. I think this is the window. Anyways, perfect. Can you guys see this shit? Can you guys see this shit? Okay, perfect. So this comes from, this is what they're teaching kids, all right? This is what they're teaching kids in California right now. All right, this is what they're teaching kids in California. Foreplay includes mutual masturbation, rubbing and stroking each other's. Bro, this is what they're teaching your kids. And you're okay with it because you're a fucking bitch. An uneducated, uninformed, dumb, autistic moron. By the way, autism is caused by these things, but that's a topic for another day. You guys ain't ready for that shit yet. Anyways, so this is what they're teaching your kids. No wonder their brains are fried. Fried. Absolutely fried. No wonder you can't focus on doing business. No wonder you can't focus on getting to the next level. Somebody said, yo, chill, I'm autistic. Yo, chill. No, you're not autistic, bro. There's no such thing. Oh, yeah, but it's hard for me to deal. Bro, you're different. That's all it is. We're all different. Every single one of us. But do some research. Look into the heavy metal toxicity in the blood-brain barrier that goes into your brain. Look at the number one solvent is petroleum. I want somebody to pull up the list of the recommended when you're born. It's like 22 of them. Why? Because you're a product. You're a product of the system. You're a product for profit, and that's what you are. When I was in New York about a month ago, I sat down with a guy whose family and him, they own they work in the military industrial complex, right? And I asked him how much of this stuff is planned, how much of this stuff is predetermined and prepared and fabricated. And he said all of it. From the top of the bottom, it's all about profit. War, every bullet that's shot is $1. Every jab that's inserted is $1. Look at the severance package that the president of Moderna received. He received a $950 million gold parachute package for his high quality performance. Do you think he gives a fuck about you? Truly. Yeah, but the news told me that I needed to take care of others. Bro, of course that's what they're going to tell you. Why? Because they want to shame you. They want to tell you that, dude, if you're not focused on other people, if you're not trying to help other people, then you're ruined. Your life is ruined. You're a disgusting, terrible person if you don't do the common good. Who dictates what's the common good? That sounds a lot like China. The common good, right? The People's Republic. It's a joke. Somebody said, "You're lying. My sister will forever be autistic because my parents got her jabbed as a young child." But what I'm saying is autism is caused by this. And the reason you can do your own research. Do your own research. You'll realize, look at the spike, okay, of when mental problems, all this ADHD, depression, transgender mindset, a lot of it started when we started inserting people with pills, when we started jabbing them with all sorts of garbage, and people just consume because they don't think. Capital Club is going to not only teach you how to think, it's going to teach you how to operate in the system. It's going to teach you how to win. The reason I was hesitant to speak over the last 2 years was for a very simple fact. I needed to earn my rite of passage. And the rite of passage entails a few things. It includes your ability to be on multiple grids. It includes your ability to be extremely financially independent, whereas you're unfuckable, untouchable. I don't need this shit. The reason I'm doing it is out of passion at this point. And my goal is that you begin to wake up. Because when you wake up, you realize that everything is set to destroy you. I want to watch a quick little video with you guys. We're gonna be watching a few. Oh, by the way, if anybody is doing any sort of narcotics, antidepressants, Ritalin, ketamine, all these things, be extremely careful. Be extremely careful with all these things and understand what you're consuming before you consume it. Just like you go into a pantry aisle and you go pick up a piece of bread, or you go pick up meat, or you go pick up vegetables, and you don't read the labels. And the first thing that you see is in most foods is one ingredient called high fructose corn syrup, one of the most poisonous chemicals that can ever be consumed. High fructose corn syrup, fake genetically modified garbage. Oh, but this candy tastes good, this ice cream, because you're a bitch. You don't understand how to put your mind over your mouth, how to put your mind over your taste buds, and you're controlled by things that mere mortals are controlled by. Do you think it's normal that people are 400 pounds? Do you think that shit's normal? It ain't normal, dude. It's designed to, oh, but I'm big boned. You ain't big boned, you're fat. You're a fat fuck. Well, what do you eat? Oh, well, you know, I like donuts. No wonder, bitch. Look at you. Guys, I don't care anymore. That's the nature of the situation. That's what Capital Club is. We're building the largest decentralized entrepreneurial network on planet Earth. So let's start talking about a few things. The first thing we're going to talk about is the current state of crypto. Let's talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to move to a few videos that I want to show you guys today. Start waking you guys up, because this is a process. The process of being awake is not a one-time thing, right? You need to be consciously engaged in the state of mind every single day, because the moment you think you're outside of the matrix, you're back in it. Don't be so prideful as to think that just because you're aware that's going to do anything. Bro, do you know how many people are homeless that know that the system is fucked up? All of them. But what can they do about it? Nothing, because they're peasants. So how do you go from peasant to king, from zero to hero? How? By understanding the rules of the game, by being in fellowship and community with high-level individuals like myself, by having access to education that the education system doesn't teach you. Let me explain to you something about the education system. Look up the publishers of these books that the school system has. You'll realize it's the same billionaires that control the news. The same people that publish the books are the same people that publish the news. They're the same people that publish and run the big news media outlets on the internet. They're the same people nowadays that run social media. They're not these $2 billion tech conglomerates. These people are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. They're untouchable. And all I'm here to do is to share with you that information. Whether you choose to act on it or not will have no impact on my life. But I promise you, if you act on it, it will have a massive impact on your life. But first, you must be empowered. You see somebody say, yes, let's talk about crypto. We're going to talk about crypto in just a second. Somebody says, let's see here. Let's read some comments. What is Elon Musk eating? Who knows what Elon Musk is eating, bro? All I'm going to tell you is that there's something called the nationalization of private companies. The nationalization of private companies is the following. When a private company is either in trouble, such as SpaceX or Amazon, and they need some sort of cash influx, they're going to get that from the government. The nationalization of private industry happens as follows, right? If we wanted to defund any sort of government organization, we can do that because it belongs to the people. But what if the government has decided to give that power to corporations? Well, they're corporations. If you don't want their service, you no longer have to use them. And the reason they want it to be a monopoly, even though they have anti-monopoly rules, it's all fake. Just look at all the companies Amazon owns. Do you think they just own Amazon.com? No. Let me pull that shit up. How many companies Amazon owns? Look at this shit. Let's pull it up on the chart. I'm gonna show you guys something that's about to blow your mind. Let's see here. I think, okay, perfect. This is the chart. This is what Amazon owns, guys. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This is what Amazon owns, guys. This is every single company that Amazon owns inside, okay? These are the companies that they own, and these are their competitors. They have tackled almost every niche of monopoly that you could ever think about. They own Whole Foods, they own audio, they own Alexa, which hears everything you say. If you use Alexa or Siri, you're a moron. That's how they hear everything. Amazon Prime to compete with music. Now they compete with video. Now audio, food, gaming companies. They purchased Twitch. That's why it's kind of hard for us to be on Twitch. IMDb, AWS. Did you know that the CIA's servers are hosted on AWS? No, of course you didn't. Groceries, they own Fresh. Then, of course, they're competing here. Now, of course, they have their payment system. So this is what you're up against, right? You're up against a system that is designed to tell you that it's equal, that it's fair for everybody, that it's normal, that, he owns Amazon.com. But then you start realizing that if he gets a subsidy, tax subsidy of $1.50 for every package that he ships out. Why? Because it's easier to control one big organization, and it's the nationalization of companies, as opposed to leaving your mom and pop shops operating and making, 100, 200, 300K a year, $1 million. What do you think this whole shutdown was for? To protect you? To protect you? Why do you think trillions of dollars were printed? To protect you? Where has that money gone? You don't have it. The broke people, the 1,400 stimmy checks, they spent it on Amazon.com, or they went and bought some Louis Vuitton belt, like a bunch of fucking morons. Because that's what they are. They're dumb. And the reason they're dumb is because of the way that they think, the food that they consume, the resources that they're exposed to, and their belief system. So if I can help you realign your belief system and help you get rid of a lot of the cognitive dissonance that's in your mind, that you don't understand why you believe what you believe, you just believe it, you haven't questioned it, then that's the start of your journey. Once you master understanding the power of your mind, we're going to proceed to mastering money. Then we're going to proceed to mastering networks, but it all starts with mastering yourself. The reason you're poor is because you're poor of the mind, and you need to understand this. So if you want to be rich in the pocket, you must first be rich of the mind. So how do we get rich in the mind? How do we get rich in the mind? First of all, we need to stop consuming crap. So what is consumption? A few things. The first is the physical consumption. The second one is the mental consumption. And the third one is the spiritual consumption. So let's address the first one. What is the physical consumption? Let's start with the outer layer of our body, our skin. Your skin is the biggest organ in your body. A lot of you guys are out here putting sunscreen on. You're putting this aluminum fucking Axe deodorant when you don't even understand what's on. Oh, but it smells like chocolate. That ain't chocolate, dude. You're putting oils, you're putting all this garbage on your body. These girls are caking up their faces with makeup. All that seeps into your body. Even if you're not careful, it destroys you. Next is the food that you consume. A lot of you motherfuckers are unhappy and you don't know why you're unhappy, but I can tell you that there's a reason why you're unhappy. A lot of it can be contributed to one chemical in your body. Guys, I'm going to teach you how to become a fucking killer. Do you understand that? This ain't about money. This is about life. Because if money is all you have, then you don't have much. Now, a wealthy man is a man of balance, a man of serenity, a man of equanimity and of balance. And today we live on a planet in a world that has everything but balance. Everything is an extreme. Everything is a hyperinflection of itself. Everything is volatile. But if you can be at balance, at harmony, then you are learning the principle of what it means to become wealthy. What does it mean to have $100 million in the bank account and nobody loves you and you're suicidal? What does it mean to be suicidal and people love you and people are around you, but you're so self-focused and so self-centered and focused on your own little problems that it doesn't matter, right? What happens when you have $100 million in the bank account and you have family that loves you, but you're cancer-ridden in a bed like this and you can't fucking move because you've been listening to the indoctrination doctors. Similar play on words. Somebody said, what's your skincare routine? I have none. I just eat very healthy and I'm a man of God. So I'm pretty popping with that. Skincare routine, I don't have one. I'm going to show you guys. I have something called rose water, organic rose water. You can input organic rose water in your face. It'll clear up your face, but that's about it. Next, it's what you consume, the food you consume. A lot of you guys eat fast food because you want fast results, because you want to be filled fast. It's all fast. Because you don't appreciate your body, because you take your body for granted. The paradox in life is that we put value on things that we can replace. We put value on things that we pay for. We put value on the Louis Vuitton bag. We put value on the car. All of these things are replaceable. The paradox is the things that we cannot replace: our bodies, our minds, our family, our mind, our intelligence, our well-being. All these things cannot be replaced. And once they're gone, you can never recover them. But the world has a way to make us be asleep at what truly matters and focus on the things that are fleeting, that are momentary, that don't last. Why? Because they push it through the internet. They propagate it through music videos. We're going to watch some of the craziest music videos. Guys, you're going to be fucking surprised when I put you onto this shit. Now, we need to be extremely careful because we understand that this platform is owned by people that don't want us to be sharing these messages, right? And they don't want us to be talking about truth, and they don't want us to be talking about how to liberate oneself. I can't free you. You got to free yourself, but I'm going to show you the keys. And I have found the keys. The keys have been handed down to me. I've explored, I found them, and I've been searching for them. I was searching for the key that would tell me one very important principle. How can I control the outcome of my life? How can you control the outcome of your life? How can you be responsible for the outcome of your life? Now, most people don't want to assume responsibility because if they fail, then they have nobody to blame. If they lose, they have to look at themselves in the mirror and say, you were a loser, you failed. Got the flies here. But it's extremely important to understand that you have to be willing to take the risk of being responsible. And the government doesn't want you to be responsible. The higher powers don't want you to be responsible. They want you to pin it on some blue or red political party, that the other person is the problem, that the cops are the problem, that the people in the hood are the problem. Everybody's a problem except you. But the moment you die, you realize that nobody gives a fuck about you. Nobody cares what you've done in life, that you're in it for yourself, that you're in it for your family, and that the only person that you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life is yourself. Not the validation of some fucking motherfucker on Twitch, on TikTok, on YouTube. None of that shit matters. They ain't paying the bills. If I get sick today, they're not going to come and visit me. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. It's the comment of some other person. It's totally fine. So where do you get your news from, Luke? It's very interesting. You know, I've been doing a lot of research internally for last couple of years, and the information is out there, but it's not very publicly available. But it all started by understanding that the people in charge don't care. They don't care. They'll fuck little kids. They'll kill people. They'll hang people privately, right? They'll hang people in their jail cells and call it suicide. They don't give a fuck. They're psychopaths, right? They're psychopaths. When you understand that you're playing against psychopaths in a game that is rigged against you, you need to be like, whoa, something's not right. We got to do something about it. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So without further ado, let's watch the first video. I want to show you guys a little interesting video, and we're going to dissect it. It's called the Jones Plantation. The Jones Plantation is an anomaly of, it's an explanation of the American system. Not only the American system, but the global system. It's a 12-minute video. We're going to dissect it because, you know, I like to dissect it. Somebody said, is Telegram safe? No, it's not safe. People ask me, what is this other app? Signal, is Signal safe? Guys, there is no such thing as private communication. How do these companies make money? How does Signal make money? They get funded, right? Signal gets funded. You do your rabbit trail as to what companies funded, then you realize, oh shit, Signal just got funded $3 million from a consulting firm that is owned by the CIA. Interesting. But Snowden said it's safe. Bro, Snowden doesn't give a fuck about you. Get that through your head. All right, sounds good. Let's watch this shit. First video. Who's ready for a video? Should we watch a first video, guys? Somebody said WhatsApp. WhatsApp is not only, I don't use WhatsApp, right? And this is what you need to understand. People are going to be like, well, why don't you use WhatsApp till the point that you download WhatsApp? If you don't stand strong on what you believe, if you don't stand for something, then you won't stand for anything. So we're going to watch this shit. We're going to watch the Jones Plantation. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Audio check me, guys. Audio check me. Can you hear me? Audio check. Audio check this shit.
Mr. Jones owned a cotton plantation and...
All right, let me know if you guys can hear this shit. All good? All good? Let's run it. Who's ready? I know we can't do fire emojis, so give me like a let's go or some bullshit. Who's ready to who's ready to start unplugging yourself from this shit? Because if you guys are ready, I'm here. But I'm not gonna do it if you guys aren't about it. Yeah, type 1 in chat. That's a good one. Type 1 in chat. Somebody said not ready yet. You're about to get ready, motherfucker. I'm about to make you ready as fuck. All right, let's get it. And I want to make one principle extremely clear. This video is just a storytelling analogy of what the real world is. I'm going to expose you guys to content, information that you've never been exposed to. I'm going to expose you to principles and truth that are being kept away from you. Okay? And if you're in this journey with me, it'll change your life. A lot of you, just before we go this, a lot of you guys have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Do you understand me? Well, but my life, what if I get? You have nothing to lose. You are at the bottom of the food chain. You're at the bottom of the barrel. You are the scum of the earth, or at least you're viewed this way. So this pursuit for freedom, this pursuit for truth, this pursuit for wealth, this pursuit for success is your duty as a man. It's your duty as a woman. When you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, you got to put in the fucking work. Now, the reason a lot of you guys don't like education is because of the school system. You correlate education to indoctrination and you believe that they're the same. But you know what's more beautiful? When you understand that as you become an adult, that you get to choose what information you want to consume. And because you are so dependent on the system, so blind and indoctrinated, you choose your sources of information, or you believe that you choose your sources of information, but you truly don't. You're manipulated into believing what you believe. So before we talk about money, I need to rewire your mindset. We got 640 people in here, 640 people that want to get out. In the next couple months, this will go to about 60,000 people. It'll become a movement. Why? Because we're doing this together. Because it's not about me, it's about us. It's about understanding the situation that we are in life. And a lot of you guys are comfortable. And the opposite of courage isn't cowardice. The opposite of courage is conformity. A lot of you guys are conforming to the system. You're conforming to the beliefs of your parents. You're conforming to the beliefs of the government. You're conforming to the beliefs of other individuals. The reason you go to work? Well, you don't know why you go to work. You just know that you were supposed to go to work because ever since you were 6, your teachers asked you, well, what job is your dream job? Bitch, what if I don't want to work? Does that make sense? All right, let's get this shit started. Somebody said talk about crypto. I'm going to talk about crypto whenever the fuck I want to talk about crypto. You ain't ready to talk about crypto because if you wanted to talk about crypto, you'd be in this room with me making big bucks. The reason you want me to talk about crypto is because you're not prepared. But Fizz, I'm going to wake you up, motherfucker. And once you're awake, you're not going to need me to talk about crypto because you're going to be making big bucks yourself. All right. So somebody said I look like Alex Becker. All right, sounds good. Let's move this. Let's move on to this video. We're gonna have a good time. Let's watch this shit. You ready? And we're gonna start dissecting this video little by little. Bear with me. I won't be able to switch back and forth because I'm not a top G with this this computer shit yet, but I'm gonna get used to it. I've made tens of millions of dollars off of this device right here. This little device right here. By the way, guys, if you don't have on your iPhone or on your Android some sort of privacy security on your cameras, and you're using your face scanner and shit, you need to understand that all that information, all that privacy is being leaked. So don't be a moron. Anyways, let's watch. I love this video. Obviously, it's a video none of you guys have ever watched. I'm gonna put you guys onto some real content, some real top stuff.
And many slaves. One day he was talking. Mr. Jones owned a cotton plantation and many slaves. One day he was talking to the owner of the plantation next to his, and Mr. Jones was lamenting the fact that times were tough. He was having to work his slaves harder than ever and was having trouble with some of them being disobedient or trying to run away. The other plantation owner said he knew someone who could help.
Day 1.
One day, Mr. Jones called his slaves together so a man named Mr. Smith could talk to them. Before beginning, Mr. Smith whispered to Mr. Jones, "Whatever I say, do not contradict me or interfere, and I promise you your slave troubles will end." "My name is Mr. Smith," he said to the slaves, "and this may be the happiest day of your life."
Guys, have you ever seen people like Democrats and Republicans? Okay, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, all right? Keep that shit in mind. Just run it.
Lives From today forward, you will no longer be slaves, but free men. Mr. Jones was so shocked he started to step forward, but Mr. Smith gestured for him to remain silent. He did, only because the other plantation owner had spoken so highly of Mr. Smith's skills. You are no longer the property of Mr. Jones, Mr. Smith continued. You are free.
Free.
No more would you be forced to labor for the benefit of Mr. Jones. Now you can work for yourselves. Now the slaves were all murmuring and looking at each other.
No longer a slave. I'm a free man. They told me I'm free.
In fact, you are now free to leave the plantation whenever you want, Mr. Smith said. However, since we are surrounded by other plantations, if you leave, some other plantation owner will likely claim you as his own the moment you set foot on his property. So I urge you not to risk your newfound freedom by doing something so foolish.
You're free, but be careful. You're free, but be careful.
Instead, I suggest that you stay here, no longer as slaves, but as willing participants and part owners of this plantation. Yes, this is now your plantation. Mr. Jones bit his tongue to keep from objecting. For now, we might as well leave Mr. Jones in charge, said Mr. Smith, since he is the only one with any experience at running a plantation, which is quite a complicated thing to manage. But he will no longer be your master, but just another worker on the plantation.
Guys, why would Biden do anything bad? He's a public servant. He's a public servant. He's not your master. He's a public servant. He's a man of the people. He sniffs little kids, but no, but that doesn't matter. He's a Catholic. He's a good old man. Bro, I read these comments on Twitter. This shit's amazing. Get ready, boys. I'm gonna wake you the fuck up.
In fact, he will now be using his organizational and management skills to serve you. Whatever problems you may have had with him before, you are now all equals, and you need each other to make this work. If we all cooperate and work together, we can all reap the benefits together. In honor of this happy...
Guys, together, we're in this together. Tell me what the motto of we're in this together over the last 2 years. That mob mentality bullshit. I present you
this new symbol of togetherness and cooperation, this flag.
Oh my goodness. Oh, beautiful, bro. This shit's amazing.
In honor of this happy occasion, I present you this new symbol of togetherness and cooperation, this flag, which shall be the emblem of the new free Jones plantation.
Freedom.
He held up the new flag, but most of those listening were still too amazed to respond. And this shall be our motto, Mr. Smith announced. We work together as free men for our mutual benefit, pledging our allegiance to the Jones plantation, which stands for prosperity, liberty, and justice for all. To celebrate, everyone has the rest of the day off. Enjoy your freedom, do as you please, and be back here tomorrow morning, bright and early.
Hey, don't forget, it's Super Bowl Sunday. It's your day off. All right, go watch the game. Go watch the pigskin get tossed. Oh, go to Black Friday, go trample each other over some TVs, but be back tomorrow for work, bitch. Be back to work tomorrow because you're a free man. Be back to work tomorrow because you're a free man. No, you're not a free man. You're a slave, and they're trying to keep you down.
Early, so that we may begin work on this great and noble new endeavor as equal free men. Finally convinced that Mr. Smith was serious, the former slaves applauded and cheered.
Day 2.
We all want this plantation to do well, Mr. Smith said at the beginning of the next meeting, so we can all share in the benefits. We all know that it takes a lot of effort to make a cotton plantation work. Just because you're all free doesn't mean you can stop working. In fact, since you're now working for yourself,
Just because you're free doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing slave shit. Just because you're free, you shouldn't be doing slave shit. Come on.
I expect you to work even harder than ever before, but now with pride and joy, knowing that you're working for yourselves. Of course, there still have to be rules. If everyone just does whatever he wants,
There's got to be rules.
Won't produce anything.
Somebody's got to enforce the rules.
We'll all starve. You should be thankful that Mr. Jones has agreed to stay on to lend his knowledge and skills to this endeavor, and I trust you will all do your own part to make this work. Several of you have been chosen to act as project supervisors to manage different aspects of the operation to make sure everyone is doing his assigned job.
Looks familiar, huh? Well, maybe we put these guys in 4 years, 6 years, 8 years of indoctrination and make them believe that they're the protectors of the country. Guys, by the way,
spam one if this is valuable to you, if this is kind of unplugging your head a little bit. We're starting from zero and I'm taking you guys all the way to the fucking top. Right? So I want you guys to do an experiment. I want you guys to do a social experiment. Okay? Before we continue watching this, I want you guys to put a social experiment out. The social experiment is the following. Figure out in your day-to-day how many people are trying to impose their will on your life. Every single person is trying to impose their will. No, walk this direction. No, walk this direction. No, walk this direction. No, do this. No, you can't say this. No, do that. Oh, you got to come here. Bro, everything. Even basic shit like a security guard. And the security guard tells you, no, you can't walk this direction. You say, I'm walking in this direction. They will be flabbergasted and shocked and in complete, utter disbelief that somebody questioned them because they are almighty and all powerful. Even grocery store employees, bro, people want to impose their will upon your life. Impose your will. And most people are just bitches. They're cowards. They don't have any courage. They don't have a spine. And I understand why most of you guys are not courageous. I understand why most of you guys don't have what it takes. It's because you don't have the resources. But Capital Club is going to provide that for you. Don't get it fucking twisted. We're going to the top. So let's continue this shit.
To make sure that the rules are followed and so on. The rest of you may head out to the fields to start your first day of work as free men.
Day 3.
The next morning, Mr. Smith had a grim expression on his face as the daily meeting began. I have an unpleasant duty to do today, he said. Yesterday, Charles was caught keeping some of the cotton he picked, presumably to sell for his own personal profit.
No shit.
That is against the rules.
Entrepreneurs?
That's stealing. For that, Charles must be punished. 2 men tied Charles to the whipping post. I take no joy in this, Mr. Smith continued, but you must understand, if we do not maintain order, if we do not have rules that we all abide by, then the plantation will fail and we will all suffer. The whip cracked against Charles' back. But if we all pitch in for the common good, then we can all prosper. Being free doesn't mean you should be selfish and greedy.
Who dictates the rules of the common good? Who dictates the rules of the common good? It ain't you. Had you not seen it on the news, your life would have been the same it was 4 years ago. Had you not seen it on the news, right? You wouldn't be worried about Putin invading some country. You wouldn't be worried about that shit. You wouldn't. But you're worried about that shit because that's the shit that you consume. Who chooses the common good? It ain't you. Once we get done waking you guys up, we're going to transition. We're going to start talking about crypto. We're going to start talking about how to make some money.
Greedy. We must each do our assigned duties and obey the rules, and then we can all benefit, and each of you will receive your appropriate share of the profits. A young man named Samuel stepped forward. But if you and Mr. Jones decide the rules and whip us if we disobey, how is that any different from what we had before? How can you say that? Mr. Smith asked. I'm shocked. You were a slave before, and now you're free. Things still need to be managed and organized by those best qualified to do so.
Titles.
Do you
Fake
know
titles,
how to run a
baby.
plantation, Samuel? Well, no.
Have you ever been in politics? What the fuck do you know about politics and managing people? How do you know what we need to do? That's what they'll tell you. That's what they'll tell you. They'll tell you you're not qualified, stay in your lane, you're a peasant, and you continue in that avenue because you believe it. There's no difference between you and them, except the information that they have and the information that you have, the information that they believe and the information that you believe. Zero difference.
He answered. But if we're free, why do we get no say in what the rules are and how things work? I'm surprised at your ingratitude, Mr. Smith answered. None of you know how a plantation is run, so you're in no position to be making decisions about how things are done here. You don't seem to appreciate all the things that Mr. Jones provides for you, from protecting you from all the outside threats you know nothing about, those who would come here, capture and enslave you, if not.
I want you to look up. I'm gonna put a pause on this shit, bro. I'm gonna put a pause on the show. We're gonna watch another one real quick. In 2001, something happened. 2 Jenga buildings fell. 2 Jenga buildings fell in 2001. Another little building fell right next to it, Tower 7. We all know this. And what did our great old president at the moment pledge? He pledged a war on terror. A war on terror. That's what he pledged. A war on terror. A war against an enemy that you'd never seen, you'd never heard of, but you were angry about. You couldn't believe
that they would do such a thing. Clowns, absolutely asleep. A war on terror. What the fuck is terror? Who defines terror? Go look up a video right now. I'm gonna play that. Look up a video of George Bush being like, "Now I pledge war on terror. Now let me show you how I swing my fucking golf club." And he goes and swings that shit. It's fucking nuts, bro.
If not for Mr. Jones' protection,
It wasn't for
making
us.
sure that you all have food and housing, tools to work with, you're cared for when sick and injured, and so on. There wouldn't be a plantation at all, no cotton to pick, no land to plant and harvest, if not for him. You should be grateful that he's made possible the level of comfort you now have. Your lives would be far worse if not for him. Nevertheless, as free and equal participants in this endeavor, from now on at each meeting, any worker may have 2 minutes to ask questions or voice suggestions or complaints. With that, the workers all seemed satisfied.
Voice your opinions. Fill out petitions. If you have any problems, go out on the streets and picket and riot. These guys are looking at you, sipping their fucking whiskey from their ivory towers. Okay. Sounds good. Keep talking. Yes. We're going. Nothing changes. It's all an illusion. It's all a dream. It's all a lie. And when you understand it, you're going to get unplugged from the system.
And headed out again to the fields to pick the cotton.
Day 4.
I have a big announcement, Mr. Smith said as the daily meeting began. Mr. Jones' cousin is here, and not just to visit and see how our project is coming along. It has been decided that from now on, you will be deciding who will manage the plantation. Of course, this job can't be done by just anyone, but every 3 months we will have a special...
Oh, you got it. Guys, we're going to have every 3 months a special meeting where you're going to get to choose whether you want this guy or this guy. But I'm going to select whether we give you this guy or this guy. Oh, but you, the people, you have the freedom of choice. You have the freedom to decide. It's all an illusion. It's all garbage. They're both wings of the same fucking bird.
Special meeting at which all the workers will vote on whether we think Mr. Jones should run the plantation or whether we think his cousin, Mr. Johnson, should run the plantation. That means that ultimately you
send this link to somebody.
Because you will be deciding which man you want running things on your behalf. If you don't like the way things are being managed, you now have the power to change it. Amazed and pleased.
Woo! Yeah, the slaves celebrate. The slaves are out here celebrating. They're celebrating. Look at them. Look at them. Unbelievable. Slaves celebrating. Democracy doesn't work. Democracy isn't real because people are idiots.
Things are being managed. You now have the power to change it. Amazed and pleased, the workers headed out again to the fields to pick the cotton.
I get to choose. I get to choose what I want in life. But you know what? At the end of the day, you got to go back and pick the cotton because you're a fucking slave. You have to go clock into your 9 to 5. You have to wake up like a bitch. Your vote matters. Every vote counts. Every single one of them. They all count. We count them all. We count all of them. I swear, I promise. I promise you, on God. We count every single one of them. There's no fallacy. There's no human error. There's no bias. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair, they tell you.
Days passed, months passed, a year passed,
and nothing
the plantation continued to operate as before. Sometimes Mr. Jones was in charge, sometimes Mr. Johnson was in charge, but the day-to-day routine stayed exactly the same. The workers worked hard, long hours every day and still had little to show for it. Every day the meeting would begin with them all reciting the Jones Plantation motto, "We work together as free men for our mutual benefit, pledging our allegiance to the Jones
Every day,
Plantation,
waking up
which
like
stands for
drones.
prosperity."
Every day, waking up like drones. Every single day, waking up like drones, pledging allegiance, chanting the same thing that every other person chants. And it's not just here, it's everywhere. And this isn't a thing about countries. This isn't a thing. It's understanding that these are man-made systems controlled by individuals or a group of people designed to keep you poor. It's the name of the game. Welcome.
Liberty and justice for all. One day, Mr. Smith announced, Samuel is asked to say a few words this morning, and whatever the rest of us may think of his ideas and opinions, we are all free here, and that means we are all allowed to speak our minds. So, Samuel, you have 2 minutes. Begin.
You got to speak your mind, but you're capped at 120 seconds, and then we ain't going to do shit about what you said, because your opinion doesn't really matter.
Samuel stepped forward, looking scared. I was excited.
You know why Samuel's scared in this video? Because he's a peasant. He's a slave. If he had an army behind him and he was wealthy as fuck, do you think he'd be imposing his opinion the same way he's imposing it now? No, because he's a bitch.
Excited when all this started, he began, glancing nervously at Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones. But don't you all see what's happened here? Nothing has changed. We're all still slaves. There were grumbles of disagreement from the crowd. They tell us what to do and whip us if we don't. They still make all the rules and punish us if we disobey. They let us make suggestions and complain about things, but they never really change anything. They let us choose between Mr. Jones and Mr. Johnson, but what's the difference? The situation stays the same. We do all of the...
Guys, nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. Do you understand that? Nothing has changed. We get worse and worse and worse and worse. Worse. Trillions of dollars printed out of thin air. Trillions of dollars printed out of thin air. And you're not mad about it when you spend, and your parents and your grandparents have spent their entire life, all of it, their entire life for fake money. Paper that is printed from where? From where? Do you know? No, you don't? Slave. I'm going to teach you where. I'm going to wake you guys up. Let's get ready for this shit.
All of the work, and they take as much as they want and decide how much they'll let us keep. They live in luxury, made rich by the cotton we...
What happens if the government imposes 80% tax on you? What are you going to do, you little pussy? What power do you hold? Oh, but our government officials are going to elect us to win and do this. Bro, New York has 50% tax. 50% tax. And these clowns are still living there. Still living there. Drones. NPC characters. Can you imagine working from January, February, March, April, May, June, compressing all that time in your life, that entire span of your life? I need to kill this fucking fly, it's annoying me. That entire span of your life, compressing that, right? Compressing that shit. I need to kill that. What if I catch that fly? That shit would be crazy. I'd be straight up Neo. 50%. For what? Potholes, lack of safety, fucked up society, screwed up ecosystem, gross environments, all that shit. Every single one of it. 50%. Can you imagine being indoctrinated to give 50% of your money away to an organization that you know nothing about? That's why I live in Puerto Rico, so I pay 0% tax because I know how this game is fucking played. And I play it the right way. I play it the legal way. I'm a top boss. I'm a big boss. Let's play this shit.
We pick. We do all the work and have to build our own huts, grow our own food, and take care of ourselves. They leave us just enough that we don't revolt or run away. This is not freedom. We're all still slaves. They've only changed the words they use, but nothing else has changed.
You know what they realized about slavery, guys? Chat, you know what they realized? They realized that it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't sustainable to beat people. It wasn't, you needed to keep your slaves alive for optimal production and for optimal performance. So what did they say? Let's print out this dollar, this fake money. Let's control it. Guys, you don't even know the history of the currency that you use. Do you understand that? Do you understand that you're going to work to get something that you know nothing about? And it doesn't seem to bother you. It doesn't seem that you care enough to realize that this shit is designed to keep you a slave. Oh, but I have a house and I have a car. Do you understand that you don't even own your house? That the government could take it away today? That you have the right of use on the house, the right to use the house. but the house does not belong to you. Chat, I need some activity on this shit. Come on, let's run this bitch.
They say we're all free and equal, but we're not. They command and we obey. That's not freedom. That's not equality. They say we're free to leave, but all that means is that we're free to be someone else's slave. Why should we work or obey the rules? We didn't agree to this. They made the system. They forced it on us. They control and rob us and call it freedom. They've deceived you into thinking that being able to choose which slave master you'll work for is the same as being free. It's not. Open your eyes. If you keep what you produce, they call it stealing. When they take what you produce, they call it sharing and fair distribution. Can't you see that this is all your...
Your time is up. Your time is up. You can't wake people up. Your time is up. Shut the fuck up. Sit down.
They call it sharing.
Take from the rich. That's what they tell you. Take from the rich. And they ain't taking shit from the rich, bro. Do you know how many pages there are in the tax code? It's like 70,000 pages in the tax code, of which you know zero. Zero. All of them full of loopholes. All of them full of secrets. Understanding how to move your money. Do you think Bezos operates with the same level of intelligence and knowledge that you do? Everybody says, I want to be a billionaire. Everybody says, I'm going to be a billionaire. Bro, you don't even know what it fucking takes to be a billionaire. Do you understand that? You do not understand the information, the things that you must do in order to become a billionaire. You're not going to become a billionaire. You read a book every fucking 5 years. And it doesn't bother you. But the ones that are here, they understand something. Let's play this shit.
What you produce, they call it stealing. When they take what you produce, they call it sharing and fair distribution. Can't you see that this is all your time is up, Samuel? Mr. Smith announced calmly. At his gesture, two supervisors grabbed Samuel by the arms and led him to the whipping post. I'm sorry, Samuel, but you've broken the rules. There are rules against encouraging others not to work and encouraging others to break the rules. You're only hurting all of us with your discontentment and your complaining and your disobedience. The whip fell and Samuel...
When you talk about truth, you know what they say? They say you're being negative, you're being pessimistic, you're holding people down. That's what they tell you. When you talk about truth, and the truth isn't always pretty, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't address it. They'll call you negative, they'll call you a liar, they'll call you a pessimist. They'll tell you, why are you focused on the wrong things? Bro, it's all fucked up.
You will let out a grunt. Without rules, without order, all would be lost. Without law, there would be chaos. We can't just behave as wild animals, each doing whatever he pleases. We must all follow the plan and all do our duty for the better.
You know what? Look.
Animals, each doing whatever he pleases.
Listen to this. Listen to what he attributes the characteristic of an animal.
Oh, there would be chaos. We can't just behave as wild animals, each doing whatever he pleases.
Each behaving like a wild animal, doing as he pleases. The correlation of freedom is correlated with you being a savage. Do you understand?
We must all follow the plan and all do our duty for the betterment of everyone. And those...
Whose plan? It ain't your plan. You're following along. And if you do not lead, you follow.
Who do not must be punished. The whip fell again and blood flowed freely from Samuel's back. Samuel, it is you who are stealing from the others. When you don't do your assigned work, you are making more work for others. When you disobey the rules, it is you who are endangering the future of everyone else here. You are the thief. You are the criminal. You are the one trying to destroy the arrangement that keeps us all safe and prosperous.
The arrangement. There is no such thing as an arrangement. You've been told what to do from the moment you were born. You've complied from the moment you were born. You've never questioned it. That's why you're broke. That's why you're fat. That's why you're in a disgusting state of mind. That's why you're depressed. If they had all the answers, why isn't your life so great? My life is amazing. I'm sitting on tens of millions of dollars. I have a beautiful family. I look good as fuck. I'm healthy. My spiritual life is on fire. Why? Because I listened to nothing that they said. Nothing.
At every lash of the whip, the other workers cheered louder and louder, some yelling curses at Samuel. Being spoiled and selfish, you complain about everything, talking as if you're oppressed. But you are the one ruining things. You are the one keeping us from being all we could be. It is your greed and your rebelliousness that is hurting all of us. They all play by the rules, Mr. Smith said, gesturing at the others. What makes you think that you don't have to?
If everybody's doing it, well, what makes you think that you're special? Everybody's on the plane and they take it off in order to sip a little bit of water and then put it back on. But you state that it's weird as fuck that you can take it off to sip a little bit of water and eat and then put it back on because it makes no logical sense whatsoever to any person that has two brain cells. And the moment you question, oh, you're not trying to keep us safe. You're trying to hold us down. You're trying to keep us down. You are the problem. That's what they tell you. You are the problem.
You think you're above, Mr. Smith said, gesturing at your rebelliousness that is hurting all of us.
Rebellion.
They all play by the rules, Mr. Smith said, gesturing at the others. What makes you think that you don't have to? You think you're above the law? There were loud yells of agreement as the whip fell again. We must maintain order, Mr. Smith proclaimed, to make this plantation great, to make it so that we can all be happy and prosperous. To have the society we want, there have to be rules. We all have to contribute our fair share to this great endeavor, and we cannot tolerate actions and attitudes that seek to undermine the amazing things that together as free men we have achieved and will continue to achieve.
And the moral of the story is that you do not choose the rules of the game. The rules of the game are perpetrated on you, they're imposed on you, and they are there to deceive you into believing that you have freedom of choice, freedom of will, and freedom to decide the outcome of your life. Initially, you don't. And the reason you don't understand this is because you've been born into it. You don't know anything different. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to fucking Capital Club. I'm here to unplug you. I'm not the only one, but I'm in communication with the rest. A revolution is upon us. The time is near. And this is just the beginning of the journey. If you cannot become rich of the mind, which is what I'm training you to be, to question why you do what you do. Guys, do you think it's fucking normal to sit? Guys, do you think it's fucking normal to sit down on your couch after waking up at 7 a.m, commuting for 2 hours, working a 9 to 5 under fucking fluorescent lights, typing shit on an Excel sheet, getting back, commuting another 2 hours, sitting at home with fucking Taco Bell, genetically modified food, watching Netflix for 2 hours, going to sleep with a bitch that doesn't want to fuck you because you're ugly as fuck, waking up and doing the same exact thing for 40 fucking years. Is that the life that you want? Well, that's the life that you chose. So if you want a different life, you must make different choices. Welcome to Capital Club, bitch. Alrighty. This stream is going to get more exciting. It's going to get better as we kind of build out this ecosystem. We are going to be really sharing with you guys what the game is about, what we're about. The reason I've decided to do this, and I'm going to be extremely transparent. There's a club out there, a rich club, a club with billionaires. You have to compromise your morality to be in it. You'll get blackmailed to be in it. You have to do all sorts of things in order to do it. Even Grant Cardone says it. I should pull up a clip where Grant Cardone says, if I need to cut and bathe myself in goat blood or put a little bit of goat blood on my face in order to be a billionaire, I'll do it. Fucking Scientologist. Should I not say that though? Should I? Because I want to be on his podcast. Is that? Oh well, too late. Oh well. Slaves, bro. Slaves. You do not need $1 billion. $1 billion won't make you happy. Do you understand that? Money solves money problems, and then you're left with problems that money cannot solve. And those are the problems that you've been looking for answers your entire life. That's why life is about balance and coherence. But you need money because we operate on a financial system. Everything is transactional, monetarily transactional. The reason you're here is because you have Wi-Fi that you paid for because you worked out and paid for it, that you have a device that you can watch this video because you're literally here because you have money.
There's tens of millions of people out there that have no, and hundreds of millions of people, maybe even 1 billion people have no internet service, have no electricity. They're never getting out. Do you understand that they're never getting out? You have an opportunity. Being in this chat is not normal. Listening to this, it's not normal. You need to understand this. It's not normal. It's a privilege. And to whom much is given, much is required. So I hope you do something about it. I hope you start analyzing your life, and I hope you start taking things a little bit more seriously. Okay. All righty. What's next, bro? Who's got some sick videos that we should watch here? I got some other shit that I want to show you guys. Let's talk about crypto. Let me pull up the crypto chart. Let me pull up the crypto chart over here. Bitcoin right now is doing quite well. For those people that don't know, I did extremely well in the crypto market. I became extremely wealthy because of it, because there was glitches in the system that allowed you to literally partake in a money-making scheme, because that's what it was, which was the printing of a ton of dollars from the Federal Reserve, and then that money was then put into private industry and private pockets. That's how it works. That's how they funnel money in the system, right? They funnel money in the system by putting it through the government, putting it then through industry, and then self-actualizing it into their own pockets. Let's see here. Let's open up this YouTube chart, or this coin, this trading view chart. We talk a little bit about crypto, because it's extremely important that you understand kind of where you stand. So let's see here. I have it on my other laptop. Let me just pull it on my phone. Don't chart on your phones. Don't trade crypto on your phones. That's for noobs. You need to be doing it properly, but that doesn't mean like you won't see me charting it. Okay. GMT, guys, we talked about this. It's a money glitch. I'm going to continue telling you guys this. I want to show you guys something. I want to show you guys how precise I am. How precise. My phone screen is cracked. Don't neglect it. Hang on. You can't see that shit, right? If I zoom it in, can you do that shit? Do you guys see that? Do you guys see that support resistance line that I charted? You probably won't be able to see it. That shit's kind of fucked. It's right there. Maybe I make it thicker. No, anyways, I'll post a chart of it. Anyways, I predicted crypto was going to go down. That's why it went back up. And now we're in a good situation. All right, current situation with crypto. You do not want to be investing in the markets. You do not want to be investing in the markets unless you know what you're doing. Most of you guys are gambling. You should not be invested into the markets. Why? Because this market right here is designed to pull liquidity from the noobs, and ultimately put it into the money in the pockets of rich hedge funds or exchanges. I'm going to explain to you guys a very simple principle. You guys don't think all these big exchanges talk to each other? You don't think that all these big exchanges are in bed with each other? Guys, these dudes are fucking printing money. So let's say everybody wants to short the market, right? Everybody wants to short the market. Every single person wanted to short the market 2 weeks ago. So the market pumped. Why? Because there's a thing called order books. And the order books basically tell you what position people are in, right? Whether they're long the market or they're short the market. Now, when they see that momentum is to their favor and they can opposite and kind of turn it into the opposite, opposite direction, they go long and they liquidate you. They make money on liquidations and on fees. That's how they make their money, and on listings. Okay, that's how exchanges make their money. So if everybody's short, what are they going to do? They're going to go long, so they liquidate your ass. That's how these motherfuckers print money over and over and over and over again. And you ain't mad about it because you do not know how the game works. Alrighty. Let's take a little minute break. We've been running on this shit for like an hour and a half. We're going to continue the stream. As you guys can see, my eyes are still kind of fucked. I've been pulling 18-hour days. Capital Club is on its way to becoming the largest decentralized entrepreneurial network on planet Earth, ladies and gentlemen. And we're building it together. I have a buddy of mine flying into Puerto Rico tonight. You guys will see who he is. He's a really good kid. And you guys are gonna be excited. So I'll probably have him on stream. We might do a little collab. But I just hanging out with some buddies. You guys will be interested with that. Anyways, Capital Club Europe event in Europe.
is taking place mid-September, 14th through 19th. We're going to be sending out the details for that. If you want to level up at a completely new level and take things to get to the next step, I need you guys there. So it's not going to be for everyone. And then we're doing Capital Club Asia and as well, but that'll be in December or something. All right, let's take a 2-minute break. Go get your water. By the way, we're going to be talking about water. Maybe we talk about water in the next segment. 75% of your body is comprised of water, and people don't drink it. Can you believe the paradox that this thing right here is what's keeping you alive and people neglect it? Do you think cancer is normal? Do you think tumors are normal? Do you think ADHD is normal? Do you think being depressed is normal? Depressed is not a normal state. Do you think feeling a lump of anxiety on your chest 24/7 is normal? Do you think being bloated is normal? That shit is not normal. Not normal whatsoever. Go get some water. Go get some spring water. If you're drinking tap water, you're a drone of the system, and I'm going to teach you guys why tap water is extremely harmful for you. Just because it's clear doesn't mean it's clean. Quote that shit. Just because it's clear doesn't mean it's clean, especially when it comes to the water that you consume. Water. I think it was some water government organization today declared this week declared tap water to have what are called forever chemicals. These are chemicals that are really hard or almost impossible to get rid of in your body. They have mercury, heavy metal toxicities. They're going through pipes that have existed for hundreds of years. I don't know, 50 years, 70 years, oxidized, rusted, and then they go through some bullshit chlorine filter and you're drinking it. Tap water. I can't invest into water myself. Spring water. It'll change your life. All right, 2 little minute break, guys. And we're back. Go get some water. Go get some water real quick. Go get some water real quick and we'll resume. Welcome to school, bitch. I need you guys we got 600 people in here. Everybody here knows one individual, just one. I don't want 50, one. One person. One person that they want to unplug. Who is that person in your life that you want to unplug? Tell me. Who is that person in your life that you want to unplug? They need to tune in tomorrow, to our live tomorrow. We're going to be doing this on a regular basis. I'm going to be on here for a while. Like I said, guys, I come from nothing. I was raised in a town in the middle of South America with 18,000 people, middle of the farmland. But something was always off. Something felt wrong. I was fortunate enough to get a flight to the United States because my uncle was a pilot. So I was able to sit in the flight attendant little chairs that open up like that. That's how I got to this country. That's how I got to America. I cleaned toilets. I washed dishes. I served tables like a bitch. I did door-to-door sales. I knocked on people's doors to let me stay in their house. I slept in my car. And I made it. The reason I made it is because I wanted to make it, because it was more important to me than any other thing. And most of you guys think that it's more important to have fun or, dude, I just want to chill out. Chill out? Do you not understand that the world around you is fucking crumbling? There is no chilling out. That doesn't exist. If you had to go and scavenge for food 300, 400, 500 years ago, and you had to go plow the lands, there was no such thing as chilling because your life depended on it. And most of you guys are so dependent on the system
that has led you to a level of comfort that has made you weak. You walk into a grocery store, your pantries are always full. Do you think that's always going to be the case for always and forever? You're mistaken. The Ukraine provides 30% of all the wheat in the world, somewhere around that range. They produce 70% of all the wheat to the continent of Africa. 70%, somewhere around that ballpark. There's a famine coming. We've talked about this. The prices are not sustainable. People are poor. Banks are poor. The entire system is collapsing in lifetime. And your solution is to smoke a joint and watch Netflix. That is your solution. And you ain't even mad about it. All right, let's watch one more video. Let's watch one more video here. You guys onto some serious shit. Stuff that you guys have never seen. So guys, my goal here is not to make you guys afraid or scared or make you guys feel like you can't make it out, but it's giving you guys a wake-up call because nobody wakes people up. Nobody's out here. Everybody's like this. But what if I offend? What if I offend people? What if they don't like me? What if they cancel me? What if they destroy me? What? It's impossible, bro, for people to speak their minds. People are so asleep. It's unbelievable. Alrighty, let's watch this video. We're gonna do 2 videos. This is talking about the debt crisis, and I talked about a year ago. A year ago, I predicted the global economic collapse because the debt crisis was so big that it was not sustainable. $31 trillion. You can't even wrap your mind around $1 million, let alone 31 trillion. Who is the money owed to? Who do we owe the money to? The $31 trillion. And why does the fucking government, or why do we, the people, not own the money supply? Well, in 1931, there was something called the Federal Reserve Act that was passed by one of the most corrupt presidents in all time, President Wilson, an absolute crook, planted there by JP Morgan and all these organizations that wanted to get rid of small banks and monopolize that, because if they could monopolize and privatize money, because money is privately owned and privately printed by the banks that are owned by people that make the rules, and you do not benefit from it. All right, let's first play. Let's watch this shit. Spam in the chat 1 if this has been valuable to you so far. Are we better today than we were yesterday? Shout out in the chat. Are we better today than we were yesterday? Who's ready for this journey? Who's ready for this journey, baby? Come on. We're halfway through the year. We're halfway through the year. A lot of you guys told yourself you're going to do something. You told yourself you're going to push forward. You told yourself you're going to win. You told yourself you're going to work out. You're going to eat healthy. You were going to change the way of your life. But somewhere along the line, you lost your goal. Somewhere along the line, you lost your fire. And I understand why. Because it's hard to be a lone wolf. The system teaches you to be in it for yourself, to be alone, to be a lone wolf, to be focused on your own bag. A lone wolf is a wolf that has no pack, or whose pack has disowned or killed him, or been killed. There's no such thing as a lone wolf, because when times get tough, the pack needs to stick together. Most of you guys don't have a pack. Most of you guys are alone. You're peasants. You have no network. You have no system.
You have nobody that is there to help you. Zero, zilch, none. And it doesn't bother you. Well, with Capital Club, you're going to get access to that. I'm going to show you the way. Let's watch this shit, baby. Okay, Godfrey Bloom. If you guys don't haven't studied his content, I highly recommend you do. He talks about the debt crisis in Parliament and about the central banking system. Short little video.
For the FD group, Mr. Bloom, 2 minutes.
I'm a baby boomer. I was born just after the war. We've probably had the longest period of peace and prosperity globally, I would say, from that time. I've put a little bit of modest money away so I can hand something down to my family when I pass on, largely because I've never spent more money than I've earned, and I've been prudent.
Why the fuck does the government spend so much money? Can somebody account for like $1 of spending? One? You know what's the craziest part? The COVID relief package, there was like a $10 million transgender package that was destined for transgender prostitutes in fucking Thailand. That's your money, bitch. They're stealing from you and you ain't even mad about it.
Prudent, and I've worked moderately hard. Now, it always seems to me as a complete surprise to politicians how countries get in debt. Let me explain, because I don't think you really understand it. It's because politicians consistently spend more money than they raise in taxation, more money than they can possibly raise in taxation, most of which, in point of fact, they actually waste. The reason we're talking about countries which are broke, and they are broke, is because they're ridiculous, ineffective, ignorant politicians consistently spend more money than they can raise. And then they borrow, and they borrow, and worse, they then print money because politicians and their central banks have a machine which prints money. You do that as a private citizen, and it's a criminal offense.
You print a single dollar, and you go to prison. Does that make any sense? Do you think it's some sort of fairy tale, like nebulous organization? No, it's people. It's people, the biggest scammers of them all, that run the game. They run the game. Look at this man's face. He's fucking, look at him. He's livid, bro.
You would go to prison for.
But you know what's interesting? He came to this conclusion 20, 30 years into his career. You're getting into this conclusion in your teens, in your 20s, in your 30s. You stick close to me, you're going to have a good ass life.
Doing that, and politicians and their central banks do it all the time. Let me explain to you that these countries are broke, and they're broke because
the US is okay, this is the scenario. The United States is broke. The United States is poor. Do you understand? Poor. I want somebody to give me a very basic understanding. If I make $50,000 a year and then I spend $60,000 and I am negative $10,000, what am I? Am I rich or am I broke? Am I rich or am I broke? Answer that, chat. Am I rich or am I broke? I'm a broke ass bitch. And we're $31 trillion in debt. And for some reason, you think you're safe. Do you understand that debt needs to be paid? No, you don't.
Because of their own stupid leadership and politicians. And it's immoral to ask ordinary taxpayers of any country to pick up the tab for failed politicians and failed banks. They are defaulted. They're broke. For God's sake, let's all of us admit it.
So it's extremely important to understand this, right? It's extremely important to understand that the situation that we're in is horrible. It's not only horrible, it's happening all around the world.
Broke as fuck. $31 trillion. To who? To the central banks that are privately owned, to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. You guys ain't ready for this shit. You guys ain't ready for this shit because we're about to go deep. I'm about to show you guys how the system actually works. When you understand the system, guys, this is not conspiracy shit. When you understand the system, you understand the rules of the game. When you understand the rules of the game, you know how to play. Most of you guys are working for money when they're out here printing it. Do you not understand that I can hop on my phone and make tens of millions of dollars, as I've done, and it's verifiable and it's proven? I made $250,000 this month alone just shorting a token called GMT. That's a fucking Ponzi. And I've told everybody to do it publicly on my Instagram. Most of you guys haven't done it because you don't listen. You don't understand that I actually know what I'm talking about. I hold the keys. And I'll prove it again and again and again. And consistently, I'm going to prove it. Next, let's run this shit again. Next video. This is 2 years later. Same guy. Same guy.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I think what we're dealing with here is a triumph, is it not, of hope over experience.
Look at this bitch. Look at this bitch.
Talking about things which aren't the problem. The problem that we have.
People are, bro. Oh yeah, we need transgender reassignment surgery bills to get passed. We need guys to use girls' bathrooms. This is the bullshit that they're keeping you busy with. This is the bullshit that they're keeping you busy with while they snort cocaine off of hookers' asses in their fucking ivory towers, looking down at you like a fucking ant while you fight over the dumbest ass shit. It's unbelievable.
We have is a flawed banking system, a fractional reserve banking system, where bankers can lend money that they don't have. And if you go back in time to the United
Let's talk about fractional reserve banking. What is fractional reserve banking? Fractional reserve banking is when you put money into the bank right now, even though it's FDIC insured, and it won't happen if you're in China. It won't happen if you're in China. Right now, look up hashtag Shanghai, okay, on Twitter. They have put tanks. They have put tanks in front of the central banks because they have just frozen everybody's money. But you ain't going to hear about that shit. Of course you're not. Fractional reserve banking, you get a fucking dollar, you deposit it into the bank. You no longer own that dollar. You have put that dollar into a system and you get what in return? Interest. Because you're loaning them your money and they're giving you interest. And they've gotten so good where the interest is basically zero. That's how good they've gotten at lying. And guess what they do now? They have what are called your minimum balance availability, your minimum balance. So if they have $1, they can go out and print 9 of fake money that has never existed, credit. And they go and lend that back out to you on interest. Oh, I'm going to put in $1. Let me get a mortgage at 5% APY of money that you just printed out of thin air. And guess what? Now I'm going to work like a slave to pay off my APY in what I own, not APY, APR, excuse me. And that's where you're stuck in a slavery system. That's why I fucking hate real estate. I hate these mortgages. I hate a lot of these things because you need to be at a certain level with certain people, with certain bankers, with certain rules, with certain tax lawyers. You have to play the game like they play it. If not, you're not going to be able to compete.
United States in the 1850s, that was a capital offense. You could hang for that. Now we have this extraordinary situation where we've had regulation.
In the 1850s, what happened? All these banks you had your receipts, money, right? Money was a receipt of what? Of the gold that you had stored in the banks. So what did these clever bankers do? Well, they did what they always do. They lie and they say, well, we have more gold than we actually have. And then people were like, well, we want to redeem. And then people started getting scared. And then they're like, maybe they don't actually have the gold. because it was all fake. All the banks got shut down. It's coming again, guys. It's happening. It's just right in front of your face. You guys are dependent on the system. You're dependent on the system. And when the system that is man-made collapses because of greed and corruption from both sides, every side, up, down, black, white, blue, purple, yellow, Asian, African American, Nigerian, Chinese, Arabic, American, Norwegian, doesn't fucking matter. They are all the same. They have the same condition, which is greed, manipulation, and narcissistic fucking dystopian dictatorship. When you understand this, you're going to be free from the system. But until then, you'll live in your illusion.
Regulation, lots of regulation. It's been the wrong sort of regulation, hasn't it? And so we've had another disaster. And none of this is actually going to save us from another disaster down the line. It's bound to happen because we haven't addressed the real problems. And that is your fractional reserve banking system. We must have a commodity bank on the one hand, an investment bank on the other hand. So, Commissioner, you talk about banks' ability to withstand shocks. Well, by this definition, by your definition, a shock is people turning up wanting their money back. You know, that's not...
It's exactly what I said. What happens if everybody goes to the bank today and says, I want to pull my money? Oh, well, you have to fill out this form and you have to tell us why you're pulling out this money and where you're putting this money. You have to tell us where you're putting this money. Oh, how do we know it's not laundered? Oh, you have cash? Oh, you have cash? What are you going to do? You're going to go buy drugs? Some fraudulent ass shit. Go and pull 100 grand from the bank account if you have that money. Look at how they look at you. They look at you like you're some sort of freak of nature, that you control your own money. They'll look at you as a freak of nature.
It's not a shock. That's a sort of should be a day-to-day occurrence and should be dealt with accordingly. And we're talking about bankers' bonuses, an absolutely wonderful way of taking everybody's eye off the ball. What we've actually had here is criminal activity by bankers, and not a single banker has been sent to prison.
None of them.
This is extraordinary. Billions of pounds have been
because they run the game.
Taken away from taxpayers, taken away from depositors, bondholders, and yet not a single banker is in jail.
None of them.
This is a disgrace. This is a disgrace. We really have to use the law of the land, not so much regulation, and printing money. And central banks are equally culpable, make no mistake. I'd like to see some central bankers in prison. And I call quantitative easing counterfeiting. Printing money is counterfeit. It's illegal. If a private citizen did it, they would go to jail. So let's look into our own hearts, the very unpleasant arrangements that politicians, bureaucrats...
Look at this bitch raising her hand. Ooh, I'm going to argue as to why we can fucking steal. I'm going to argue as to why we need quantitative easing.
Central bankers have between themselves at the expense of the taxpayer. Let's end it, and let's end it now.
And you know what happens? He talks and nothing happens. You know why nothing happens? Because it's up to you. It's up to me. You can't control the game, right? You're too small to control the game. You have to learn the game. You have to learn how to play it. And you have to get out. And that's what Capital Club's about. That's why you're here. You're here because you know something is wrong and something has to change. Guys, you're not in diapers anymore. Do you understand this? You are responsible for your life. Take it seriously. God damn, bro. Take it seriously for your own sake. I got out in 4 years. It took me 4 years to get out of the system. 4 years of pure work and dedication. 4 years. And they tell you, no, just work 40 years, and then you hit the age of 65 and you have a 401k. You're living in a trailer house. You have your one little dinky ass car. You cannot take care of your family. You get put on Medicare, get paid on all these government subsidy bullshit ass projects that are half funded, that are a scam, that are overpriced because what you get, what you pay for isn't what you get. And then they bring in a story or an anomaly to make you feel good. Yeah, but look at this person, it was super beneficial for them. It wasn't, bro. Take control of your life, please. All right, I haven't been reading any of these comments. If you guys have any questions, please ask them in the chat. We got 10 minutes. Let's finish strong. Let's finish strong today's chat, guys. I hope this was beneficial. One in the chat if you're leaving better today than you were yesterday. That is the goal. That is the goal. You leave better today than you were yesterday. Put one in the chats if you're leaving better today than you were yesterday. I'm trying to give you guys the sauce, right? Like, this is free. This is free information for you to win. All right, perfect. Somebody said, where do you put your money? Okay, your money, we need to understand what money is. Money is liquid. So you need to be able to move your money and according to where the trends are going. So right now, where are really good places to put your money? And then if you have $10,000, don't fucking worry about it. Go make some money, bro. Like, this conversation isn't for you. If you have hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, there's a couple people in there that have those numbers. You want to operate in a few different sequences. First, you need to look at the central banks that have printed the least amount of cash over the last 2 years. Next, you need to look at inflation rate. Really good countries with very low inflation rate, two of the countries that basically run a lot of the financial systems in the world, Singapore, Switzerland. So I have a lot of money in Swiss francs and in Singaporean dollars. Next, you want some hard assets, all right? You want silver, you want gold. Yeah, the price fluctuates on them. Buy them on a weekly basis. Buy some coins, buy shit like that. Something that you can hold and you can store. 4, you want cash. You want to be able to have cash reserves readily available. Buy a safe that's fireproof, right? Or buy those bags that are fireproof and have, 5% of your money, less, depending on how rich you are, right? Or how poor you are. Just have some cash reserve, because what happens when the government goes bust, the banks go bust, and it is inevitable. You are trusting a system that is man-made, flawed, designed from conception to fuck you in the ass. Do you hear me? This is the system that you trust. That's why these old people arrive to these retirement homes, gross as fuck, full of illnesses, full of mental issues, with no money, with no family. And guess what? They did everything the system told them to do. All of it. From beginning to end. And what did it cost you? Well, nothing. Just your life. That's it. All right. Some more questions. Let's ask some questions in the chat, guys. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure today. We are just getting started. And the reason they want to keep you poor is for one very simple purpose: power, control. These people don't care about money. It's not about money. It's about the fight between good and evil, what's right and what's wrong. So you have to choose your side. You have to choose your battle. Where is crypto going next? The crypto is going to go in the same direction that every other financial market is going. It's going down. Now we may have a relief because we've been going really down, but long term, next year or so, down, baby, down, down, down. Best way to make money right now, e-commerce or crypto? E-commerce right now. Inside Capital Club, guys, Capital Club's e-commerce course has been certified by Shopify, thanks to Steve and Evan Tan, my G's, business partners of mine. Our e-commerce course is certified by Shopify, so you're getting the best of the best. We're going to teach you guys how to make, multiply, and preserve wealth at a massive scale. You need a network, you need education, you need relationships, you need Capital Club. Do I make myself clear? What books do you recommend? It's a great question. We'll leave that one for next week, or for tomorrow, actually. So let's answer. We got 5 more minutes here. If you guys have got any questions, feel free to ask them. What is the future of crypto? It's going down. Future of NFTs, initially it's going to go down. Long term, they'll do well. Technology is really powerful. When is Capital Club launching in? We're looking at launching it sometime in August. As you guys know, we like taking our time to build quality products. We're already wealthy as it is, right? We're rich. Everybody on our team, they've made money, or they're financially in a really good place. So we're not in a rush, right? I don't need subscribers. I don't need fucking subscribers on my YouTube. I don't need anything. I could go ghost right now, make $2 million, $3 million every single month in the markets, because that's what I do, and call it quits and not give you guys any information, any value. I could just look at the bystanders getting fucked every single day. But guess what? I actually like this shit. I like to be a rebel. I like the controversy. I like what we're building. I like the movement. And of course, I'm going to get rich in the process. So it's a two-way street. How do you join Capital Club? Capital Club will be opening soon. Holy fuck. Calm down. Somebody said calm down. It's these drones that are telling me to calm down, bro. It's amazing. ABC XYZ. They can't even put their real name out there. I hope you do it affordable. I mean, affordability really has to do, it's up to you. What is the cost of Capital Club? The cost is your freedom. That's what it is. I'm getting spammed with comments, guys. Hang on, I can't read them. What about drop shipping? Drop shipping is a good model. The problem with drop shipping is the people that go into drop shipping, they don't know anything about business, right? So you don't know how to open up a business. You don't know anything about taxes. You don't understand how to build an ad, how to build a creative. So people just want how to make money. Well, first of all, what is money? That's a great first question to ask before you get into any business. Or what are the essentials of business, right? A lot of people are like, well, what Facebook ad strategy should I use? Or look at this fucking product that has been around for 5 years. You need to use a little bit of intelligence when doing drop shipping, but it still works. It's a little bit more difficult, but it's going more into drop shipping brand style. Spring bottles, spring water from plastic bottles or tap water. So that's a tough one. The reason being is bottled water usually sits in super hot warehouses for 4 to 6 months at a time. And what happens with that plastic when it becomes soft because of the heat? Microplastics seep into the water. Tomorrow, we're going to be covering genetically modified foods. Okay, we're going to be covering genetically modified foods and supplements that you need to have, yes or yes, in order to make it, right? The reason you feel weak, the reason you feel that you lack focus, the reason you don't feel well, you feel distracted, you're foggy. These are all signs that your body's telling you that something isn't right. Something isn't functioning properly. We need to be able to solve it. The first thing to do is understand why you eat what you eat and the relationship you have with food. But that'll be for tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll see you guys back here at the evening time, because I'm going to go do some shit during the day. I'll see you guys tomorrow evening. We're going to do an evening session, and you're going to start seeing me more around these parts of the internet. If this was valuable to you, make sure that you share it with 1 or 2 people. We've gone here for 2 hours, guys. 2 hours. 2 hours. It's been a good session. As I get more stamina to teach you guys more principles about life, it'll be extremely beneficial for you in your career, guys. Maybe you are 30, maybe you're in your 20s. You're here for a long ass time. You're here for the next 40, 50, 80 years. You got to get your shit together, bro. You're no longer a kid. Nobody's in it to save you. You got to take care of yourself. I am going to teach you how to do that. So yeah, guys, Capital Club coming soon. Make sure you subscribe. Okay. Make sure if you haven't subscribed that you subscribe. I need you to send this to one person, just one person. I don't need you guys to send it to 50 people. Just one person that you're like, this person is ready to get unplugged. They've been thinking what I've been thinking. I understand the game that's being played. I want to be unplugged myself. That's why I follow Luke. I follow Capital Club. I'm in the system. I'm in the game. I want to be out of the system. One person. The more we are, the stronger we become. One individual. All right. Spam one if you're going to get one person into this, right? Whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend, I need this to be sent. And I want to make one principle clear as we wrap up. We got 1 minute. I want to make one principle extremely clear. The journey of truth is lonely. The path to success is hard. The habits that are worth forming are difficult, but it's worth it. It's all worth it. And if you can pull through, if you can just last one more day, you're going to make it. I'm here for you. Capital Club is here for you. We're building the largest decentralized entrepreneurial community on planet Earth. We're going to do it together. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Be blessed. Stay strong. All the love, all the power. Neo out.